What's poppin', dogs? Mr. Allen here with some polar graphs. For this one, we have r equals 5 sine of 4 theta. First thing I like to do when I'm graphing in polar is identify what type of graph it is. This one is a rose. Now, how did I know that? How did I know that besides I wrote the problem? Well, first off, there's no sum or difference out here, which would be like a limacon or cardioid, right? And then I also have this 4 inside my sine function, therefore making it a rose rather than a circle. If that 4 was not there and it was 5 sine of theta, it's a circle. But because we have that 4 there, it becomes a rose, all right? So those are some of the indicators that you can look for. So first thing done, it's a rose. Now, what do we need to know about a rose? The length of the petals, yes? So length of petals. Length, oops, I forgot my T there. Length of petals. That would be my lead coefficient there of 5. So length of petals is 5. How many petals? Yeah, right? Number of petals. I don't know why I'm saying petals that way, but I'm going to continue with it. All right. So the number of petals is actually not 4. It's 8. It's double that. If that number is even, then it is double that. We can get into the why it happens. You could do that with like a T-chart and really show that. I'm not going to get into that in this video. Even numbers, it's double. Odd numbers, it is that number, okay? So it might be easier just to memorize that part, but there is reason as to why that occurs. I'm just not going to get into that in this video, okay? What else do we need here? How about starting, right? Where do we start? Okay. So for starting, right, and then also we'll need spacing. Okay, so start. Let's see here. The start here occurs based on, it's a sine function. So we got pi over 2 as our starter, 90. And we're going to take whatever this number is, okay, this number is, we're going to divide it with that, okay? So I'm going to do either 90 divided by 4, which is 22.5, or if you're in radians, we have radians over here, I'll show that as well. You would have pi over 2 divided by 4, that's going to be pi over 8. So we're starting at pi over 8 or 22.5, okay? I can actually pop that down right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway between pi over 4 and 0 would be right about here. So this is my starting point there, okay? I don't have all of the, lines here. It'd get really overwhelming with that, so I just have the main ones from our unit circle, okay? So there's our start, pi over 8 or half of pi over 4. And then our spacing, right? So spacing. How do I get that? Well, if the number of petals I have is 8, and we got to occupy this entire 360 degrees or entire 2 pi, we're going to take that 2 pi, we'll divide it by 8, so our spacing is pi over 4, or you could have done that in degrees. 360 divided by 8 would give me, what is that, 45? Every 45 degrees. Yep, that agrees, right? 45 degrees is the same as pi over 4 for radians. So depending on what your graph is labeled with or what you're comfortable with, radians or degrees, it really doesn't matter when you're graphing in polar because you could easily convert one to the other, okay? All right, so I think we're ready to go. We should have 8 petals spaced every 45. Now, this is a little bit tricky here with spacing in the 45 with how things are, but let's think about it, okay? Because I think with degrees, it's a little easier here. This is 22.5. This is 90. 22.5 plus 45 would be 67.5. This right here is 60, so I'd be a little bit past that, right? So that makes sense, right? To make sure I'm on the right line here. Oops. There we go. Okay, so there's my next one. And it should be symmetric, okay, with this stuff here. So we're going to be over here. This would be my next bit of 45. And then another 45 lands me here. Then another 45 lands me right here. And here. And here. We're just like outside of our 30 and 60 degree references. And that looks pretty evenly spaced, right? Like each one of these is about the same width apart. And now, don't forget, it's also one at the pole as well. We're going to make a whole lot of loops here. So get ready with your pencil, your marker. We're going to have a nice rose with a ton. Look at that, man. A beautiful, beautiful rose. Sorry, my marker started, running out there and stuff, but there we go. Make sure your points are clear, right, as to where they are. You won't usually get dog like I got a little, overlap there. The main things we're looking for, we're not looking for necessarily artistic abilities, but where those points are, all the space, and they may even ask you to fill in some blanks here on the test or quiz or whatever it is to make sure you understand those particular characteristics. But there we go. Rose, 8 petals, sine. It's dope. It's fun. With sine, though, you got to think about where you start, whereas cosine always starts right here on my x-axis. All right, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Have a wonderful, fantastic day. See you later.